Hi everyone, Comic Book Reviewer here. This time reviewing on issue 12 of Ultimate Spider-Man. Now, as you know, Ultimate Spider-Man was meant to be Brian Michael Bendis' reimagining as well as his own interpretation of the whole Spider-Man story. And the cover mainly has Ultimate Electro getting powered up, so let's get on with the story. The story starts off literally after issue 11, where the Ultimate Enforcers and Electro try to take on Ultimate Spider-Man, and we see him saying, "I'll beat the Twinkies out of each and every one of you, I promise." Wait, whoop, your turn. And we see right away Ultimate Spider-Man mainly webs Ultimate Montana's hands. We see how Ultimate Electro tries to blast Peter, and right away Ultimate Ox grabs his leg and starts smashing him around. And we see how they sort of debate either turning him to Kingpin or basically trying to axe him off. And we see right away Ultimate Peter mainly takes them out, tries to kind of use his surroundings, and after kind of getting the idea, tries to kind of go for Electro to ask him about his powers and that, but it becomes clear now that Electro knows who he is out of the mask, he pretty much threatens to end his family and try to find out who he is, and saying, "Whoa, well then you certainly can't blame me for doing this." And we see how he basically kicks the water pipe and ends up getting shocked. That sort of hits everyone else and gets knocked out. And we see how obviously Peter mainly sees that Ultimate Ox is still alive and tells him to go to the feds or the cops to confess what Ultimate Kingpin is like. And after kind of getting near the exit, we see obviously Ultimate Wilson Fisk saying, "Who are you working for?" And we see how obviously Ultimate Peter does the bravest thing that I think anyone can do, is get his sort of notes and says, "You are so fat that when you cut yourself shaving, marshmallow fluff comes out. No? Okay, how about this one? You are so fat that your high school yearbook photo was taken from a helicopter. Oh, tough room. Okay, how about you're so fat that when you get on a scale, it says 1 at a time." And obviously, due to so many insults, he decides to kind of go after him. And Ultimate Spider-Man saying, wait, how about this one? Your belly button makes an echo. If you were a truck, you would have a wide load sign. And when you back up, we can hear a bleeping sound. And of course, we kind of see how, because of Ultimate Kingpin acting on his emotions, he ends up being quickly defeated. And obviously, after making his getaway, he tries to kind of find any possible evidence, and eventually does. Which is obviously the sort of tape of Ultimate Wilson Fisk killing Mr. Big. And we see how Ultimate Ben Urich tries to find out who gave the sort of package, but decides to present it to Jameson. And we see obviously Ultimate Peter deciding to call Ultimate MJ, which obviously is going to lead up to the next issue. And after kind of avoiding New York City, Wilson Fisk is now sort of incognito, but we see how his lawyer points out that obviously it is going to take time to sort of sweep things under the rug, but it will be taking some time to properly clear things out, and ending the story. So I think my best thoughts about issue 12, it's not a bad story, but it knows it has to do something with Ultimate Wilson Fisk, despite obviously throwing him in to be a bit of this plot device for Peter having to realise that each villain he will be facing is going to be a lot different from Green Goblin. It's an okay story, not the best, but it still deserves a thumbs up. Still good, and still alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.